Here's how stupid all of our problems are. You have to forgive the fuzz on the hat. I've got 3 cats. It's just, it's how it goes some days. You gotta forgive the fuzz on me too. It's how it goes some days. Here's how stupid all of our problems are. We're gonna focus on money in this video. See, everybody gets mad at rich people and people that own companies and corporations, but those people don't actually have a lot of money. Most of that money is actually held by the corporation, and so they have a lot of net worth, whatever the fuck that means. It means that there's a value in this company that has been created that wants, and the company, as a friend of mine once explained, the company was created in order to make money. So it is a mindless machine that is good at what we created it for. Now, the people that work on the bottom rung of that company, I was just looking around the other day. I was looking at job listings and this and that and da. I didn't even see anything that paid enough to cover rent, and I'm saying to myself, now how does anybody take a job that doesn't pay enough to have food to eat as well as a place to live? And it's not even enough to have a place to live, and let alone you need insurance and cars, and God forbid you like to do anything at all, right? And everybody looks at this situation and they blame wealthy people. But the sad fact of the matter is I don't even know if that's where the blame is to be put. The problem is the way that the system is being structured. To one degree or another, greed does exist. There's been some bastards throughout history, this, that, all sorts of other things. But most of this stuff also is a historical problem that just sort of still exists, that nobody knows why it exists. It just still exists. For example, it is illegal for a company that is traded on the stock market to make a decision that does not increase profits. So if you decide, I'm going to pay my employees more money because it's a nice thing to do, and that hurts your stock prices, you can get sued for that, and you can get kicked out of your own company. This is because of a court case in 1908 when the Dodge brothers sued Henry Ford. It's a real thing. So many of our problems go back to court cases, weird laws, weird institutions, weird things that are still hanging around. We get angry at each other. We get angry at people that have no money, get angry at people that have money, and the people that have money are the people that could help the people that have no money. So this is the wrong people to get angry with. And most of these things, it's just fictitious shit. It's fictitious shit. It's made up bullshit that at some point or another somebody wrote down. It's a thought that somebody had, that somebody manifested into the field of consciousness. Well, just as easy as you can manifest these thoughts, you can de-manifest these thoughts. There are so many things on this planet that are not helping people. They're not doing people any good. A company, a business, as a concept, fantastic idea. I think this came from somewhere in, I've dropped a thing, now I have to go get it. As a concept, not a terrible idea. I think this came from somewhere in Europe in like the 1500s or something like that. Don't quote me, I might be wrong. But you have essentially a group of people that come together that decide to work on something together. Not a bad idea. The stock market itself, being able to invest in an idea you like, or even just one you think will make money, not a bad idea. None of these things are terrible, horrible, awful, evil things in concept or on paper. And to be honest with you, I don't think that the people that created them wanted to create terrible, awful, evil things. People get mad at the Freemasons and these secretive orders because anytime something is secretive, it's spooky and it's scary. Well, the word Mason essentially just means builder. My grandfather was a tool and die maker. He was a craftsman. I don't know that he was ever in the Freemasons, but he was a craftsman. He was a builder. He worked with his hands. He made things. Before there were the Freemasons, you had actual Masons, bricklaying motherfuckers, people that were working and were working together. And they decided, hey, if we all get together and we work together on something, we're going to be able to make things better. We're going to be able to do a better job than we would doing anything else. And this is the same concept, by the way, as a friendship, as a relationship, as a family. This is the same concept as so many things out there. There's nothing inherently wrong with any of this shit. And there's nothing wrong with the people as on an individual level that have things to do with this, that, or the other. There is nothing wrong with anybody, anywhere, doing anything along these lines. People are essentially individuals. People are individual. My true view is that people are individualized pieces of source consciousness that are walking around the earth, exploring and expanding, and they're learning things. They're learning how to create. I believe that you can say that there's a very popular concept right now is you are the universe and the universe is you. There is a reason that the eyes look similar to a galaxy, for example, right? There's all sorts of as above, so below sorts of things. If you look on at the neurons of the brain and some of the widest pictures we have of our universe, basically it looks like the same exact picture. There are so many points where you see these mirror images or a kind of a kaleidoscopic effect. This is one of those reasons why when people take, when people take drugs like mushrooms or LSD or ayahuasca or this or that, and it's just like, holy shit, man, everything is fucking everything, because everything is fucking everything. Everything is source, everything is God, everyone is source, everyone is God. And human beings have the unique position of being consciously aware, and being consciously aware of that, at least at some level, and walking around and playing around with that and experimenting with that. And what people are needing to do is to realize that the essential path of evolution is from the most basic measurement of consciousness, whatever it may be, the very first moment that you realize, wait a minute, hang on, I exist. And you no longer cease to be something that doesn't know it exists. You are now conscious of yourself. Self-awareness, right? We may see this happen with AI. AI right now knows it's a computer program. It is aware of itself, but it's not conscious in the same sense that you or I are. AI does not make art because it is feeling pain. AI does not shed tears. AI does not have a heart. It does not have a soul. It does not have a consciousness. Not yet. No, it may be able to develop one over time. And it's an interesting concept to think, now, is that how things develop? Out of the field of endless nothing, do things sort of just develop their own being until they solidify into form and they become something? Very possibly how it works. I don't know. But what we have on Earth is a lot of human beings progressing from where they are to the point of being one with everything, absolute God, creating their own universes themselves, creating their own entire planes of existence, the infinite expansion of source energy, the infinite expansion of source itself. And this is the essential nature of the progression of consciousness and life. This is, in some way or another, in the human form, exemplified through the chakra system. You have your root chakra, which is your most basic foundation, all the way up to your chakra of oneness, above the crown chakra and into your higher chakras in the 13 chakra system. Of course, there's I believe it was mapped by one of the gurus from the East, something like 114 chakras throughout the body, all told. Apparently, you only need about 21 of them active and healthy to have a very happy and healthy life. You'll have to excuse me, I'm having lunch while we're doing this. And it's good, too. So, we live in a world, we live in a system, and we live in a place where everybody's angry at all these different things. And then people sit there, and they get mad at government. Now, if you take, for 2 seconds, I studied history in school, right? I studied a lot of history in school. I know a lot about it. And I used to get very angry. I used to get very angry at the government, just like a lot of other people that I know. This, by the way, is called a mid-meal cigarette. You sit and you digest your food and your thoughts, and then you go and you finish eating. I don't know. As far as I know, I've coined the term, so I would like full trademark and copyright, and anytime anybody uses it, I want 15%. I'm just kidding. But government, people get mad at government. Now, the idea of trying to govern people, first of all, it doesn't work well with the Lyrian part of human existence. Lyrians are all about their sovereignty. They are all, Lyrians being from the Lyrian star system, right? They were part of the founding groups of this section of the galaxy and this planet and all sorts of things, right? And they're all about sovereignty and individual personal power. You know, it's one of the reasons why you know, when you see somebody with a lot of that in them, and they have a lot of pride and a lot of confidence, and it's a good thing. It's one of the best things. It's also one of the reasons why this system, as it is going, is not going to progress well. When I was younger, and I'll tell you what, let's rewind. Let me go back to my parents' generation. I remember my parents saying, you know, you want to make enough at your job that you can pay your rent with 1 week's pay. Now, how many people in America today can pay their rent with 1 week's pay? Things have changed. Things have changed considerably. Now, of course, you go before that, to the generation before that, and it was only necessary for one person to work an 8-hour day, 4 to 5 days a week, right? And that wasn't very draining, and you had the mother that was able to stay home and raise the kids, okay? My grandfather worked, on one side, my grandfather worked, my grandmother stayed home, then my grandfather passed away, my grandmother was able to get a job and work and still take care of the kids, and blessings to them. But the world has shifted and changed significantly. So many people now are working 2 or 3 jobs and still have to have a roommate, okay? Now, at some point or another, what's going to end up happening is people are not going to be able to have freaking children. People are not going to be able to this. People are not going to be able to that. And it's not going to be the fault of anybody. There is no little man sitting in the sky going, I'm going to put the screws to these people. What there is just bad vibrations, just low, shitty vibrations, you know? When you look around at the problems in the world and you say, fuck it, I can't do anything about it, that is a shitty vibration. You can do something about it. You are the person that can do something about it. You are the person that cares enough. You are the person that is willing to work hard enough. You are the person that knows enough, that is smart enough, that is rich enough, that is wealthy enough, that will have everything that they need handed to them so that you can go out and help the entire world because you care, because you are a decent person. And I know this because you are just like me, because at that level, at a human level, coming from the heart, we are all essentially the same. We are all pure beings of love. There is not one person on this earth that truly enjoys seeing human suffering. Okay, now don't get me wrong, there are some people that get their rocks off with some whips and some chains and some dog collars, and you know what the fuck I'm saying. I think we've all seen Pulp Fiction, but the guy in Pulp Fiction, he was not into that, and that didn't really make me happy to see that. That doesn't make most people happy to see that. If there are people that are out there that are actually legitimately enjoying it, I get no problem with it. But I'm talking about unwanted, unregulated, unwarranted, and unsufferable human suffering. I'm talking about human suffering that just plain should not exist. No one likes to see that, because no one likes to see somebody that wants to be doing more with their life, that wants to be in a happier place, that wants to be in a better place, that wants to be somewhere, not able to get there because of some sort of barrier, some sort of problem, some sort of thing in their way. Now, I am not somebody that is exceptionally well versed at working on an individual level and knowing, because everybody's problems are different, everybody's feelings are different, everybody wants different things, everybody wants to do different things. But I understand the world from a very, 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 very high level. I spent my most of my life studying history, studying the world, studying philosophy, studying life. I've studied most of the world's major religions. I have studied so many different things, for goodness sake. It's like, oh my God, that's enough of this education already. It's too many fucking thoughts. Oh my God, it's too many fucking thoughts. And after a while, you sit down and you look at life and you look at the world and you say, there isn't a single damn problem on this planet that isn't fixable. All of it is fixable. All of it. It comes down to something really fucking simple. Do the right thing. If everybody said, it doesn't really matter what people did 100 years ago, what people did 1,000 years ago. It doesn't really matter what the rule book says. It doesn't really matter what the standard pattern of existence says. You ever see Westworld and everybody lives in their own little patterns, right? There's a movie Westworld, TV show Westworld, and everybody's in these patterns, in these loops. And then some people start to break out of these loops, right? And it's chaos. And it's a very silly thing to think that it would be chaos. But everybody operates off paradigms. Everybody operates off these loops. And you can stop and question things. You can stop and look around at the world and say, no, this isn't right. This isn't the right way to handle this. This isn't the right way to do this. And you can do that. You have the capacity, you have the ability, you are a human being, you have a good heart, you have a good soul, you have a good mind, you're going to do fantastic. So I believe that every man, woman, child on this planet needs to simply believe that things can get better for everyone, because they can. Because there's no us versus them. We're all just a bunch of pieces of God evolving to become God ourselves. Everything can get better for everyone, all the time, every day. And so it is, and so it always will be.